Crypto has had a very rough year, but we know that some of the best times to buy assets are when they are depressed in price and when there's fear in the water, when there's blood in the water. So today we're looking at some of the top cryptos to buy for 2023. Now, I want to give a little bit of background on why the market is where it is right now and some things to look out for over the next year, but then we'll get into some of the top cryptos. And to be clear, these cryptos are all the cryptos that I own. I only hold 5 different cryptos right now, so I'm going to lay those out, and they are probably a little bit biased because they're the ones I hold, but there's a reason that I hold them because I think they will outperform the rest of the market. Now, I'm going to give lots of disclaimers, so I would suggest staying through the entire video because it is all going to be really important. Now, first of all, we have to take a look at the overall market. Obviously, we've been beaten down so much throughout the year. We have a 78% drop on Bitcoin, and that was over 375 days. So we had a massive drop throughout the year. We also had a massive drop in just the overall crypto market, down 75%. You might be saying, why is Bitcoin down 78 when crypto went down 75? Well, we do have stablecoins that are still a massive part of this market and are more relevant, I think, than ever in the market. Now, I will say this is sponsored by TradingView. So in case you want to sign up for TradingView, this is, I think, the best place to chart different assets. There'll be a link underneath the video. You can get some money off if you use that link for the entire year. Now, we have had so many bad things happen for crypto throughout the year. We had FTX collapse, we had Voyager, BlockFi, a lot of other companies as well, at the same time that we've had rates increasing. So when rates increase, the risk-free rate of return goes up. It's much less attractive to buy assets that have a lot of risk. And this has caused the entire market to go down, not just crypto, but a lot of stocks down significantly too. Some of the best performing stocks since 2020, some of the best performing stocks over the last 10 years. Amazon's down 52%, Google's down 41%, Apple down 30%, Microsoft 31%, Tesla down 70% throughout the year. A lot of companies just being smashed, and some of the less risky stocks are actually up on the year. Some of the ones that just print cash flow really well but don't have much growth, they're actually up because people are fleeing from crypto and high growth names to these more defensive stocks. Now, we have also had supply chain issues because of the Russia and Ukraine war. We also have had more companies that possibly will have issues in the future, like Genesis and DCG. They're seeking a path for recovery of assets because they had a lot of money tied up in Three Arrows Capital and in other ventures that went down as well. We have fear over Binance, the largest exchange out there. People are worried that maybe they're insolvent, maybe they're trying to cover something up. They had an audit, but it wasn't really an audit. They just said there was an audit, but then they just did a proof of a couple different assets and liabilities, really just Bitcoin. Then there have been movements in and out in terms of, in hundreds of millions of dollars from specific individuals at weird times right around audits. So it's just been kind of a wreck, and people are so worried right now, especially because we might have another recession. If we have a big recession, people probably won't be as likely to invest in cryptocurrency, and we might have to have people that pull more money out of crypto and just use it to live, or maybe they put it in other less risky investments. So all that is happening. So I think, first of all, if you're going to buy crypto, you should probably put it on a cold storage wallet. I use Trezor. I'll leave links to Trezor underneath the video as well. But I think before you buy anything, you should probably make sure that you have it somewhere safe. And you can use something besides Trezor. I don't really care. Now, some people might be saying, why would I even buy crypto when all this is happening? Like, all these bad things are happening. Well, first of all, as I showed earlier, it's quite cheap compared to where it's been in the past. The whole market cap is down from $3 trillion to about $799 billion or $750 billion, depending on where you're looking. We also have news like this that comes out all the time. U.S. House passing a $1.7 trillion bill funding federal government through September, sending it to Biden. So they made a massive bill at the same time that we're trying to cut down on inflation. And most of this is going to defense funding. Defense funding, $858 billion. Look at this news. Defense spending reaches record high as Pentagon fails its audit for the 5th time. So they failed for the 5th time in a row an audit Apparently they misplaced $2.2 trillion, 61%, I believe, of their assets they've misplaced. And there's no real penalty for this, but it's quite expensive. First of all, we don't know where all this money is going. Second of all, it costs hundreds of millions of dollars to run these audits. For example, in 2019, the Pentagon audit process itself cost $428 million to conduct and another $472 million to fix the problems that the audit uncovered. So we're seeing billions of dollars of audits, or $1 billion audit, right, failed. And then we don't know where the money is. So at times like this, I think Bitcoin really shines through, or the decentralization of assets really shines through. And I think that narrative is still going to be the case going forward. And I think there's a real use case for it. If you're if you're worried about your assets actually being protected and actually owning them, you should probably keep crypto. You should have some backup plan. Now, some people use crypto as a backup plan or some kind of money that's decentralized from the government. Some people use it as an investment. So we'll look at both of those here today, but I think it is important going into a time where there's more centralization than ever to have some kind of alternative. So with that in mind, what kind of cryptos would I be looking at for 2023? Now, I know that we might not see a return in the price of cryptos for a little while, and I'm purposely going to stay away from heavily weighting smaller cryptos. I'm actually not going to include any outside the top 100. And if I was buying cryptos now, and I would be buying significantly more of the first of these cryptos I'm going to list than the other ones. I would be sticking to mostly Bitcoin at this point. If you're willing to risk your capital and wait for a longer period of time, you'll want to buy probably some of the later cryptos that we talk about here, some of the ones after Bitcoin. But I think Bitcoin has the lowest risk and still has a great reward. It's still 30 to 40 times smaller than gold, for example. Still has a massive use case, is the most decentralized, is the least risky, and has been around for the longest period of time. We had news just a few days ago that MicroStrategy added 2,500 Bitcoin for $45 million in the last 2 months. So they're still buying. They're also getting into the Bitcoin business. They're actually going to have Lightning services in 2023, and they're going to try to onboard millions to the Lightning network. So we still have companies working behind the scenes, and I've posted before a full video on reasons to buy Bitcoin or reasons to be bullish on Bitcoin. And this includes the fact that it is being adopted like internet in 1997. Its supply is limited. It's predictable. The Bitcoin halving is actually coming up here pretty soon. This is going to take place in early 2024. We have a lot of other reasons for this as well, including adoption from family offices, including the fact that it's cheap to send transactions. And not too many people watch this video, but I think it was pretty useful. Now, we also are getting, like I said, a lot of companies that are just allowing their customers to start buying it. A lot of different banks are starting to allow clients to buy it. We have Fidelity that's launching crypto services, including an NFT marketplace and financial services in the metaverse. Now, they also are going to have actual crypto transfers and crypto wallets, which I think will be beneficial as well, because Fidelity is one of the largest asset managers out there, and one of the I think it's a huge asset manager for retail clients. So I think those are just a few of the reasons to be bullish on Bitcoin. But if I was buying, which again I am buying crypto right now and throughout the last month, I'm really just buying Bitcoin because I think it has less risk, but I still have assets in a couple of these other cryptocurrencies. And I am looking to buy more, but I think we might see a little bit more weakness before I start buying. Now, the next cryptocurrency I would buy would be Ethereum. Ethereum switched over to proof of stake this year. There's still some risk in Ethereum right now because some people think that a lot of these different cryptocurrencies are going to be labeled securities, especially after FTX collapse. They're worried that we're going to have this crackdown by the government, which I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But even if Ethereum gets labeled a security, they still have enough money to be able to actually become a security. They could actually go through the process, while a lot of smaller cryptocurrencies would have a very hard time. So Ethereum, I think, is still a massive opportunity moving forward. So they moved over to proof of stake. This has caused them to become just slightly inflationary, cutting down a lot. If they were still proof of work, they would be at 3.59% inflation throughout the year. Instead, they're at 0.014, so reducing it over 100 times. So they've been barely inflationary after more and more people use them, after we get more network congestion, and after more and more people start using Ethereum, this will go negative. And it depends on how much it's being used, but it will definitely go negative. We still have a way to earn income as well with Ethereum if you stake. Now, there most likely will be an unlock in the ETH 2.0 contract in 2023, which could have some negative price pressure on Ethereum. We could see some selling. That will happen over a certain period of time, though, but that's still going to be a lot of Ethereum that's unlocked, assuming it does happen. I'd be careful around that time. There might be some selling on that event or before the event. People worried that people are just going to dump Ethereum, and we may see that happen. So I'm not adding actively to my Ethereum really right now, but I am looking to pick up more in the future because it's still used a lot. It holds 60% of the TVL of crypto and is where the majority of DeFi happens and where the majority of crypto building happens. It still has a lot of people building upon it. Now, from there, if I want to get a little bit smaller, I would say the next crypto to buy is probably Polygon. Polygon just got a big boost. Well, it has gotten big boosts throughout the entire year. They have a ton of different partnerships, from DraftKings to Adobe to the National Football League to Starbucks, Adidas, and Prada, Walt Disney, Meta, Stripe. They have made so many big splashes this year, and they're continuing to reinvest in their ecosystem. If there was going to be an award given out to a crypto in 2022 for the team delivering and the crypto delivering, it'd probably be Polygon. They've been able to work with so many different big companies, actually get adopted, continue to spread the name and the usage of Polygon out there. They also just won one of the top NFT projects from Solana, and the other one's going to Ethereum. So I think Polygon still has a very bright future. It's number 10 here at a $7 billion market cap. I still think it has a lot of room to grow. Now, if you wanted something smaller than Polygon, I think the best option, or one of the better options, would be Phantom. Now, Phantom is ranked 59th, so it's further down. It's riskier, but it's a $600 million market cap, so about 1/10 the size of Polygon, and it's still a very attractive blockchain to use. When you look at the most undervalued layer 1 in terms of market cap divided by TVL, Phantom wins. They have a 1.24, so they have a lot of Phantom that is actually being used for DeFi. Also, Andre Croney, one of the best developers in crypto, came back recently to Phantom, and I think that this will kind of help the narrative moving forward. They also have a lot of assets, so they have 450 million Phantom, which is about $90 million. They have about $100 million in stables, actually just slightly more, 100 million in other crypto assets. They have 50 million in non-crypto assets. They have a salary burn rate of 7 million, so they have about 30 years left, and this is without having to touch Phantom. Also, they do have revenue. They have about $10 million a year that they make from Phantom and from different parts of their business. So they're cash flow positive already. So even if they didn't have any assets, they'd still be making money. Even if they have no activity, they still have 30 years of run rate left. Now, of course, something could happen that could draw that down, but right now they look like they're in a great place, and they have low transaction fees, quick throughput, and still are a very exciting crypto. They're down significantly from the top of about $3, moving down to about 20 cents now. So a lot of potential there, but riskier as well. So that's a smaller part of my portfolio, very small compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum and even Polygon. But I still think it has a lot of potential. Now, the fifth crypto that I'd have on this list is some kind of stable coin. Honestly, USDC is probably the top one, maybe USDT, but there are some questions always on USDT. Maybe just spread it around a little bit. Even BUSD typically is considered pretty good, but with Binance issues, I'm not sure you'd want to keep too much in there. I personally, if you could, I would keep it probably in just US dollars or something like that, even, and put it in your bank account, but get ready because we don't know what's going to happen to the market throughout the year. We could see more pain before we actually see the market go up. So I would continue to deploy at a slow and steady pace. We might see more problems in the market in case there are issues with DCG or some other big company that gets liquidated, starts selling off tokens. We can see tokens drop significantly, 10, 20% in a couple hours. So be careful out there. I would keep some cash on the sidelines just in case the price gets too attractive that you just want to dump more money in. But I would also try to hold back from doing that. Now, if there's some place where you just say, hey, I'll put money in and then I'm just going to hold off for a while until the next bull run, I understand that. If we went and flashed down on Bitcoin to 10,000, you bought some and then it flashed back up to 15 or 16, I think that would be obviously a good situation. But who's to say it doesn't keep on falling? So I think dollar cost averaging probably makes sense. I also would say too, it makes sense, I think, just to keep money in other assets as well. I've been dollar cost averaging into the stock market throughout the entire year, and some of the stocks I've been buying have gone down pretty significantly, just like cryptos, but some have done well, and those are companies that are less risky than cryptos, I think. So I would do that. Maybe keep some money in case real estate gets even cheaper as well. Just keep your options open. I just want to say that because I don't want to say put all your money into crypto right now and then you come back in a year and say, hey, crypto's still down, because it might take years to get past this. I could be wrong. I think that is wrong. I think we will start moving up throughout 2023. And I think 2023 will be much better than 2022. Let me know what cryptos you're looking at for 2023 in January. And let me know in the comment section below what you're buying. Now, of course, there are Trezor links underneath the video. There are links to TradingView underneath the video. If you want to know what I'm buying and selling, there's a link to Patreon. And I will see you in the next video.